Edward Heath, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, once said, "Unemployment is of vital importance, particularly to the unemployed." It may seem that most people like to complain about work, but most do see having a job as a much better situation than the alternative, being unemployed. Unemployment doesn't just harm the people who are out of work. Economists warned that it is also harmful to society overall because it represents unused resources. The people who cannot find jobs represent goods and services that are not being produced. To some people, an unemployed person is someone who doesn't have a job, but actually it's more complicated than this. Each month, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, or BLS, polls people who are at least 16 years old about their employment status during that month. The BLS uses the respondents' answers to divide people into three categories. Employed, someone who currently has a job. Out of the labor force, someone who doesn't have a job right now but is not actively looking for a job. Or unemployed, someone who does not have a job right now and is actively looking for a job. To be more exact, the BLS classifies persons as unemployed if they are 16 years or older, do not have a job, have actively looked for work in the previous 4 weeks, and are currently available to work. Here is an example. Chris lost his job due to the recession. He spends his mornings searching online for job openings and his afternoons filling out job applications. Because Chris does not have a job and is actively looking for one, he is considered unemployed. On the other hand, Mark stays home to care for his children. Even though Mark does not have a job, he is not unemployed because he is not actively looking for work. Instead, he is considered to be out of the labor force. Chris is a clear-cut example of someone who is unemployed, and Mark is an equally clear example of someone who is out of the labor force. However, some people's official employment status doesn't tell the whole story. Sometimes it's complicated. Consider the following examples. Josh is a recent graduate looking for a job as an accountant, but he is currently working at Burger Bin to pay the bills until he finds the right job. Even though Josh is actively looking for work, he is not counted as unemployed because he has a job. He is counted as employed. In fact, Josh is considered underemployed, which includes workers who are working part-time but would like to work full-time, or those working in jobs for which they are overqualified. Mako has been unemployed for 6 months. She has given up looking for work until she hears the economy may be turning around. Because Mako is not actively looking for a job, she is considered to be out of the labor force. In fact, because she has given up looking for work, Mako is considered a discouraged worker. You can see that while both Josh and Mako are not happy with their employment situations, neither is counted as unemployed. So calculating the unemployment rate is fairly complicated. After categorizing people into groups based on employment status, the BLS determines the unemployment rate, or the percentage of the nation's labor force that is unemployed.